Welcome to Every Hair Counts. We have a wonderful episode set for you today. I'm Jason Kong here with a packed studio. We've got Susan Jernigan with us, as well as Natasha Achterberg and a few other special guests that are going to be filling into the studio. And Susan, we're going to be talking about custom hair systems, and I'm excited to talk to you about this because, we've discussed a lot of medical topics on our previous episodes, but this is actually where Jernigan's got its start, right?
Yes, it is. So we're celebrating our 50th anniversary in business. My dad, Bill Jernigan, did not have hair, and he felt like a lot of men like him wanted hair, and he literally started selling hair door to door over 50 years ago. He was the first in the state to open and work with hair systems, and hair systems over the years have just evolved tremendously. You can see that when you watch movies. Hollywood has certainly helped bring about a lot of changes. And we are able to work with clients, match their hair color, their hair texture. They can have as much hair or as little hair as they want, long, short, wear it high and tight, or long and curly. And the advancements that allow you to either take it on and off yourself every day or leave it bonded on where you're swimming and showering and bungee jumping and just having a regular, very active lifestyle. These are all open options, and we have so much experience. With us today is our lead stylist, Chastity Eubanks, and she's going to be showing you and talking also with you with a client of ours that has enjoyed wearing his hair now for quite some time. So I look forward to everyone learning about the non-surgical methods of hair units.
Chastity, we're so happy to have you here with us today. Tell us a little bit about what you do at Jernigan's and how you came to Jernigan's.
So I've been with Jernigan's almost 5 years. And I have been a cosmetologist for 24 years now, and that's how I kind of came into Jernigan's, was the unit aspect of the business. I actually started my journey with them as a receptionist though, and just kind of built my way up through customer service, working with the units, assisting the stylist until I was working with them full time.
All right, now Chastity, Natasha gave me a little bit of the inside story before the show, and there may be a little bit more to your story about how you came to Jernigan's and your journey there.
Yes, I was burnt out from working in traditional salons for the past 20 years at that point, and I started as the receptionist for Jernigan's, and slowly but surely I started to help out with doing the units, working with the clients more one-on-one, and realized that is a completely different environment. It was most definitely more rewarding than I had been in a long time to be able to help give back someone's self-confidence, to see an instant change in a new customer when you fit them for their first unit. And even some of the regular customers who sometimes will be like, oh, I finally have me again after sitting there for an hour while I clean their unit. It's most definitely emotional for them, and I feel very rewarded to be able to work with them.
I could definitely understand that because everyone that we've had on the show so far, there's just this joy about them, and it's hard not to feed off of that. Natasha, tell us a little bit about how you and Chastity interact. How do you get patients over to her? How does that work?
So Chastity is an integral part of our clinic at this point in time. She helps with everything from the styling to ordering to planning out a customer's initial hair system and mapping out color plans and styles and lengths and hair type. So we've been very, very fortunate she came on. I was so happy when she decided to do hair again because she truly has a lot of talent and really enjoys helping people. I understand coming to a job and being burnt out, but this job can be so rewarding. A lot of clients will initially come into us for a hair system or not even know what they need when they walk in the door. When we decide on doing a hair system for a client, Chastity oftentimes comes over. She will help match the client's hair and get them started with the initial haircut and fitting of the hair system.
Natasha, how does one decide if they're a good fit for a hair system, and is there anyone who can't use a hair system? Is it essentially available to everyone?
So most everybody can use a hair system, but some clients come in and they still have so much hair that they really have no need for it yet. They think that they need a hair system because they just started losing their hair, but really all they need is maintenance therapy to keep their hair. But anyone with any significant amount of hair loss can be designed a custom hair system that can work for them.
And Chastity, I think you've got a fascinating job because no two patients are alike. This presents you, I guess, with a challenge every time that you're with someone new, that you're going to find the way you're going to sort of solve that puzzle to make them feel good and happy about the results.
It is. That's one of the things I love about it, though, is everybody is so different. Their styles, and you always have those interesting cases that they kind of surprise you with what they want, or maybe an adhesive isn't working, and so you got to kind of think about their body chemistries to what adhesives might work, plus our climate and the humidity. So it's always interesting to try to problem solve and fix those things when certain things arise and create something that's uniquely to that person.
Natasha, I think when we think of hair systems, toupees and wigs tend to come to mind. Can you talk briefly about the differences between these two and what is a better fit for an individual?
So toupees and traditional wigs are usually going to be machine manufactured and made one fits everyone. One of the keys with hair systems is we're customizing it for that individual. They're hand sewn in, so you have a natural look. You can see the client's scalp, and it doesn't look like you have a thick unit that's going to fit the next person over from them. This is made for that client, so it looks like their hair, and it is their hair.
Perfect. And I'm really excited to bring in another guest that we have in the studio. I'm happy to welcome onto the show Sal Ahmad. Sal, thank you so much for coming in today to share your experience with us. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey, how you decided to reach out to Jernigan's?
Yeah, thank you for having me, and it's my pleasure. My journey with Jernigan started about almost 2 years ago now. I came in new to the Raleigh area. I've been familiar with the hair system, but it was a while ago. And like Natasha said earlier, when I first came to be introduced with the hair system, I still had a lot of hair. So I decided not to do it at the time. So when I walked into Jernigan's, at that point, it's 10 years later, and I really have lost a lot of hair, and I was looking for a solution. I came into Jernigan's, made my appointment, met with Natasha as a consultant for the very first time, and it is there and then, right away, that I decided that that's what I'm going to do, because how natural the new systems nowadays look and feel.
And so what was it about that consultation that really drove the decision for you?
There were several things. Number one, the way she made me feel at ease. There was no pressure at all. There were no contracts. There were no big 5-6 page contract to be signed. It was almost going to a friend. Talking about the issue. I had no hesitation talking about, I feel uncomfortable, wearing my hair like that. I don't feel comfortable going in public like that. I want a little bit of gray in my hair. All this was decided. And as we spoke, she brought out several options for me to choose from or to look at. There were different systems, different hair textures and hairstyles, but also the bases were different for each of the system. But I think the deciding factor was the way I was made feel. At home, no pressure. I was given the honest opinion. I was consulted. I was given the opinion whether, the surgical route may be better for me or the non-surgical route. So it was ultimately absolutely my decision as to what I wanted to do and when I wanted to do.
Natasha, when you're speaking with Sal in these consultations, how do you know what to show him or what you think is going to appeal to him and really just hit home with him, because you have so many different options at your disposal? How are you able to make these decisions and suggestions?
Oftentimes, it's really finding out what that client wants. For some clients, they want a full head of hair, and they want it in 2 weeks, and they have significant hair loss. Transplants take at least 6 months to a year to grow in. I can't do that with a surgery. And so for those patients, hair system is going to be the best option. Also, some patients have medical disorders where they can't do a hair transplant, or they have such significant loss that a hair transplant isn't going to give them the coverage that they want from their own hair.
Sal, after that last consultation with Natasha where you decided, all right, I am going to move forward with this, tell us about that process. And after you've made the decision, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pursue this, what was the process like for you after that?
After I had decided that I actually am going to go with a hair system, we talked about the density of the hair, the length of the hair, what kind of hair structure. Natasha tried to actually match the hair to my own hair. We decided on a product. We ordered it. It took about 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I came back. I had my first appointment ever with Jernigan's, which was going to be with my assigned hairstylist, who is going to go through the process with me of showing me the hair, molding the hair, cutting it to where, however I wanted to get fit. Then the hairstylist talks to you about, we actually go over pictures or a conversation in mind as to what kind of hairstyle I want. Then the stylist goes back, cuts the hair to fit the client's head. At that time, you have to decide whether you want to get the hair system bonded with adhesive that's going to last longer, or there's several options. As a matter of fact, I decided to go with the tape option. Once the hair has been applied to the head, it's still very, very long and it's kind of wet and it looks kind of funny, and you don't see the actual picture how it's going to be. But the stylist is so quick with her hands. As she started to cut, like the first, like I think 2 minutes, as she started to cut my hair, I could actually see it in the mirror how it's actually going to look like, because she started with one side. And once I saw how the hair blended with my own hair, I was amazed. And she wasn't even done yet. I mean, it was just the beginning. And that's how the procedure. So my first appointment after 2 weeks of consultation with Natasha was actually going through the process of applying the hair system.
Chastity, this has got to be a really cool experience with that first appointment, because, Sal was saying that when things were a little bit wet, he's like, he kind of had a little bit of trepidation there, but to see once the vision is becoming more and more into focus as you're going along through the appointment, that's got to be a cool feeling.
It is. And all of our stylists are really great with working with the clients, especially new timers, like when Sal came to us, being able to walk them through the steps, keep them calm, because it is a big change, especially when you've had such a large amount of hair loss for so long, and then all of a sudden you've got this full head of hair. It can be overwhelming. So sometimes you do get to see where the client's like, oh, maybe I made a mistake. That's a lot of hair. And so being able to work with them, let them know, it's not going to be like this. Let's just finish the haircut, let it settle down. By the time they leave, everybody's happy. They're astonished. And like Sal said, a lot of the clients, you get to watch them as you're working slowly start to calm down and go, wow, I have hair again. So it's an amazing feeling.
And Sal, I've got to imagine that other places might treat you in a way where you get the system and then, all right, we'll see you later. But you have an ongoing relationship with Jernigan's, and that has to, again, make you feel more comfortable and at ease, that you're not just sort of a number in a system getting some treatment. You're actually a part of Jernigan's.
Oh, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, I want to point out at that time that even after I started Jernigan's, I did go to some other places just to feel how I'm being treated, what options there are available, how are they handling their clients, is there some new technology that I haven't seen at Jernigan's? Maybe I can bring back and point it out. And I have to tell you, each and every time I was very disappointed, not because I'm here today talking about Jernigan's, but truly because of the experience that I've received. I would recommend that to anybody. But every time I've gone somewhere else, it's mostly about, okay, you come in for consultation. They want you to pick out whatever really quick, or sometimes they even pick it out for you. And then right after that, it's just the money, the cost process, and get into the contract, and they start to cross-sell you products. This is one of the reasons I keep coming back, and I come back. It's almost like coming back to friends, is because when I walk in through that door for my new appointment, I have no anxiety. I just come in. I'm actually looking forward to the whole process. I'm looking forward to speak with Natasha. I'm looking forward to speak with the rest of the staff, front desk, and in particular my stylist, because I can tell her to do whatever I want. I'm not hesitant. I'm not scared and saying, you know what, would you mind cutting a little bit more here? I think you cut too much of me. Please, next time, don't do that. I have that ability, whereas other places, you really don't. The stylist starts to cut and it's done, and you're like, that's not what I wanted. So at Jernigan's, I feel like it's the whole package, it's the whole process. My appointment, as I walk in until I leave, is just friendly. I am relaxed. I am never under pressure. I'm never pressured into buying or applying or something to my hair that I don't want. If I don't like the way it's cut, if I don't like the way it's glued, if I don't like the length, I am free to share my opinion to get the result that I want as a client. And at the bottom line, that's what it is. As a client, if I'm happy, I'm going to keep coming back.
That's a great point, because complete openness of communication and trust, boy, those two things really go a long way. Natasha, I want to circle back to something that Sal mentioned when choosing his system. He said that he decided to go with tape over glue. Can you describe these two options and maybe what the differences are between them?
So there's several different types of ways to attach a hair system. from permanent to non-permanent. We think of non-permanent ways as units you can take off every day or every few days. We also have patients who do permanent bonds that'll last a month or even sometimes 6 weeks at a time. So oftentimes we have clients who like to take it on and off every couple days, and they don't want it on for a month at a time. They will typically use a type of adhesive we'll generally call a tape. It's going to be a double-sided adhesive made for the units, and based on the unit type, we'll determine what type of adhesive we'll use for that. Whereas other clients, young college kids, they don't want to go to their dorm at night and take off their hair system. They don't want to get in the shower. They want that hair system on there till they come back again and see us a month later. They like the perimeter bonds or skin bonds that allow them that comfort and that security of knowing I'm going to jump in this pool and it's not going to come off, and then I'm going to go to my sleepover and party at my friend's house and nothing's going to happen, and then we're going to wake up the next day and do it again, and I don't have to do anything at home myself.
Sal, in describing this journey that you've had with Jernigan's, you seem to have been very deliberate with your choices. You didn't rush into anything. You got multiple second opinions. You just really, I thought, were very thorough in this process. That being said, what do you think was the biggest misconception you had about hair systems, or what is the one thing that you were completely wrong about in this process?
Number one, the most important one, that it's not going to look natural. Number two, that it's going to come off. That it's a misconception. A lot of people have that misconception. We talked about this earlier, whether it's a toupee or a wig. It's not. It's a totally different experience. Nowadays, the systems are designed so lightweight with so much hair, but still so light. There are systems that where you can actually see your scalp through it. You see your hairline. It is so much improved, especially when it comes to hairlines. They're so natural looking. And I am very, very particular about the way my hair looks, the way my hair is colored, the way it's cut. So I'm one of the clients that's very difficult to satisfy because I'm very picky. Though I understand that you have to come in with the mindset that, yes, it is a hair system. There's going to be a degree of natural looking, but I was amazed the first time when I applied it, how natural it looks. So for me, number one is how natural it looks, honestly.
And Chastity, does it take you a long time to match up that natural look? I mean, it would seem like there's so many options available at your disposal, but maybe that makes things faster for you.
It does, in a way, make things a little bit faster because we can kind of pinpoint color, shape. We do a lot of customization sometimes actually in shop. So that's very helpful when you're trying to look and achieve a certain thing with a particular client. Usually our services, though, they're about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So, I mean, it's really kind of quick, even though we take our time and we really get to know those clients and what they want and achieve. It's actually kind of an in and out for them.
Well, that is a convenient thing to know. And Chastity, we've talked about hair throughout this entire episode, but your role doesn't encompass just hair.
No, it doesn't. I play many different roles, kind of like what Natasha was saying. I've helped with being able to order the units, color match, but we actually have started to add skincare. So I have been working a lot with our skincare line, trying to build that and let clients know all about our chemical peels and facials and all the other things we're hoping to add this coming year.
Wonderful. And Natasha, that's got to be exciting to be able to discuss with everyone involved with Jernigan's, because I'm guessing most people come to you with hair-related issues, but to know that this is also an available area to receive care for, this is great.
It is. A lot of clients come to us for their total cosmetic package. It's nice to be able to go get your hair done and then get a facial, get a chemical peel. Oh, you have a dark spot. There's a lightening serum with hydroquinone you can use. And Chastity really does a wonderful job with skincare needs. She is a licensed cosmetologist and has done quite a bit of esthetician work in the past as well. And she loves incorporating that into the client's needs.
Sal, a lot of people watching and listening to this episode were in your shoes, and they want to know what they can do to either prevent hair loss or how to restore their hair. What advice would you have for someone who was in your shoes?
Absolutely. I mean, like Natasha spoke earlier, there's several different options, right? I think number one is that you do consult with the professionals. When we look in the mirror, of course we see, but we don't have all the information. So get knowledge about it, do your research, do whatever is going to be the best fit for you, whether it's financially or physically. Like if you are not comfortable with the surgery, maybe you want to look at the hair system option. But definitely get, study about it, get your research, but speak to a professional. There are so many different options available right now. It's not just the surgical option. It's not just the hair system option. There's several one in between, Laser treatments are available. There's so many. Like we talked in the very beginning, it really depends about how much hair have you lost, how much hair you have left, whether you're a good candidate for a surgery. What are you trying to achieve with your look? If you're trying to achieve a very heavy hairline and head of hair like I wear, it's probably not going to be achievable with the surgery, but you have other options. So do your research, speak to the professionals, go in with an open mind, and be surprised.
That's great advice, Sal. Thank you so much for coming in and for sharing your story. Chastity, thank you so much for coming on as well. We always love seeing everyone who's part of the Jernigan's team. We appreciate you coming on the show as well. We're out of time for today. We want to encourage you to go learn more at jerniganshair.com. That's Jernigans with a J, jerniganshair.com. I'm Jason Kong. On behalf of Dr. Sujeev Bains, Susan Jernigan, Natasha Octoberg, Chastity Eubank, and Sal Ahmad, you've been listening to Every Hair Counts.